went viral on Instagram, TikTok, and when I'm saying viral is like thousands of sales. Today's day, I think it's 15,000 sales right now.
Okay.
In a year.
World famous for her Octomom pattern, Jade Gauthier-Boutin from ALLFROMJADE is a successful, inspiring amigurumi designer. But you will see, she's way more than that. In this new episode of the Crochet Podcast, we will discuss what's behind the success of her crochet business, her background, and also challenges that she faces every day. Let's meet Jade.
Hi, Jade. Thank you so much for being a new guest on the Crochet Podcast. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation. I hope you are having a good day today.
Yes, I am. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited.
Yes, me too. And we always get to talk on Instagram, but we never met in person. So it's very exciting.
And it's really funny too, because we are both French
Yes.
girls. So right now we're speaking in English for you guys, but we can speak in French too.
We thought about doing it in French, but we were like, our audience are not gonna like that.
So it's gonna be in English
Next
today.
time, maybe we can do one in French. That would be funny.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Well, thank you so much for doing it. Sorry. Can you tell me a little bit more about yourself for people that don't know you already?
Sure. So I'm Jade, or Jade in French, from ALLFROMJADE. So I'm the designer behind ALLFROMJADE. I'm really active on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Patreon, everywhere. Basically. Everywhere. So I am an amigurumi pattern designer. I started in 2019 to design patterns.
Okay.
I started crocheting in 2012. So almost 12 years ago, or even 20. I don't know, like 12 years ago.
So for 7 years you just crocheted and then you started doing your patterns.
Yeah, so basically for like 7 or 8 years, I was thinking about designing for a long time, but I was so scared of actually trying it and doing it. And like, it's so different to crochet following a pattern that is not yours, and then actually creating one. I feel like it's so, I don't know, personal. It's like you're being I can't say that word.
Vulnerable?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got it.
You get it. So it's really personal compared to just following and like making something. Making something is still, it can be really personal if you want to change the eyes, the colors, the yarn. You know what I mean. But yeah, so I was just very scared of designing something and like even just trying for myself and not like telling anyone except my husband. But like just the thought of trying it and being so afraid of it not working, that was scaring me so much. So I just hold on like for probably 2 years. So I had that drawing of a cow in my sketchbook, and I was like, one day that's gonna be a pattern, and it went.
So that was
it
a
was
cow.
my first pattern.
That was a cow.
Yeah, and that cow was my first pattern. So yeah, in 2019, I'm from Quebec. If I'm going back to myself, so I'm from Quebec, from a small town. And yeah, I just learned to crochet watching YouTube tutorials, wanting to make a scarf.
Oh, that's how it all started?
That was my first goal.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you still
scarf.
wear it?
Nope.
Were you proud of it?
I don't.
When you were done?
No.
No? It's always like that.
No, because I was doing everything wrong, I think. So it was all in a half double crochet, and I was not working in the right loop. So I was in the third loop, and every time I was doing my rows, I was in the third loop, so it just ended up being like a tube.
It's crazy how a small detail can just like... But it's a very hard stitch to start with, you know. Like I thought you would have started with like single crochets or stuff.
I actually didn't even search like on YouTube to find a tutorial. It was just like in my like how do you say it?
Your feed?
Kind of, yeah. So I was like, oh, I could make a scarf because I didn't know anything about crochet. So I
Okay.
just bought like one crochet hook, one skein of yarn,
Okay.
and then just followed the tutorial. But it was not like a crochet class or anything. It was
Mm-hmm.
just like her showing how many stitches and everything. So I just, yeah,
But
it was
something
not
pushed you
the good
to
way.
it. Like
Yeah.
you were attracted to do it.
So yeah, my whole life I was really into crafts. When I was younger, like in college, I think I was just making like friendship bracelets, little
Yes.
bracelets for my friends. So I was doing that like all summer, all year. Um, I don't know, just yeah, crafts like
You
scrapbooks,
just like
all
making
kind
stuff.
of things I can create,
I see.
basically. So I guess that's why I was liking crochet
Yes.
without thinking much about it. Like I didn't start that to do business. I didn't start that to actually sell things.
Yeah.
I just started it for me,
And you
like to
started
make a
with
scarf.
like a tutorial that changed your life basically. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, yeah.
And what happened after the scarf? Because personally, I remember my first project. It was so bad that I gave up a little bit on it, on crochet.
Mm-hmm.
After that,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
did you leave the scarf on the side and be like, no, I don't want to do that anymore, or did you like pushed right away like to make a better thing?
At this point, I was still really motivated,
Okay.
so I think I made like 3 bad scarves, all bad, like just trying to
Yes.
understand what was going on, and then I searched for more tutorials, more things that I could do, and then I started doing like hats, slippers, all different things, but nothing about amigurumis because I
Yeah, that's
didn't
what I
even know
was
it was a
thinking.
thing.
I was like, that's so funny. You started with scarf and you ended up making amigurumis. What was the first
Yeah, I feel like
amigurumi you made?
a bunny.
A bunny?
It was a bunny, a purple bunny from amigurumi.com. They have
Okay.
like books.
Okay.
So it was a bunny in the book. And it was once again really bad. Some parts were like the wrong side out, right side out.
Yes.
So it was just all messed up. Like we could see the sewing, everything was wrong with it. Like the eyes too small or like not on the.
Yeah,
Anyways,
if it's not at the right place, it can be very spooky.
scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was my first one, and I think I actually sold it to someone.
Well, start of the business, you already
Yeah.
had this, business skill.
Oh yeah, that clearly because I was able to sell it. I don't know for how much, but clearly I was able to sell it. I wish I would have kept it, knowing now
Yes.
what I'm doing for my life.
Yes.
So we could look back at it, but I don't have it. I have some old toys still, like one I made 10 years ago for my husband. This one I still have it. Like he's losing one eye, and it's not.
It's
It's not
okay.
there.
It's a memory.
So my breaking point, I think, was after the first toy,
Okay.
after the first amigurumi, because I thought it was so hard, just sewing everything together and making it look cute and not scary. So after the first toy, I remember saying to myself, I'm never gonna do that again. I'm
It's
never
too
gonna
hard.
try amigurumis again. It's too long, like it's time consuming.
True.
It's too long, it's too hard. So much easier to do hats and scarves.
Yes.
So at this point, I think I didn't do amigurumis for like a good 2 years.
Okay. So you took a break.
Like yeah, a good break. And then I wanted to give it another try, so I did. And then maybe error or I'm glad I did. I posted a picture just on my like personal Facebook, and everybody was going crazy for it, and we're like, are you taking orders? Can you do one for me? Can you do it for my kids? And I was like, oh
Wait,
no.
but what was it?
I think it was another bunny. I have 2 bunnies, so I really like. I think it was another bunny. This time
Everybody
it was cuter. It was,
got crazy about it.
yeah.
Wow.
I guess they were just surprised because 10 years ago it was not as popular as right now or as known,
That's true.
let's say. So it was really something different, I feel. That's why people were attracted to it.
That's true. Amigurumis they didn't exist. I mean, I guess they existed, but I never saw amigurumis before.
They existed, they were just not known. I remember seeing like the first amigurumi, I think it was on my Instagram, and it was an octopus maybe. I was like, oh my gosh, I can make stuffies.
Yeah.
Like in crochet. I guess that's all it started. So I started taking orders,
Okay.
Commissions for toys.
Okay.
And I was just giving like a really long time frame, like you will receive it in 2 months. So I didn't feel like the pressure of having to make it like the week or the following day or
and it was to your friends, family, like your Facebook connections.
Yeah, it was all my personal Facebook at first, and then I created All From Jade Facebook page.
Okay.
And it was All From Jade because I was also posting about other crafts like friendship bracelets. I was also doing nails, so I was like just posting about everything. And that's why I didn't think about the name of the page. It was just like All From Jade because it's all I'm doing, and I don't know, all I'm offering. So yeah, it started like that, and then like I said, I started a Facebook page, and people were talking about it, wanting like to order, I guess, friends of friends.
Okay.
And, yeah, it was pretty busy.
How many did you sell like that year, the first year?
Probably about 50 or toys or something,
wow.
As much as I could do.
That's a good start.
So, yeah, I don't know how.
I mean,
so it was really busy.
Pretty.
I guess I have some pictures on my, like, if I scroll back and I was just taking as many orders as I could without, well, no, I felt the pressure and I hated it, like the pressure of I have to finish this one and not choosing the colors, not choosing which one, I was posting pictures of like the designer, giving them credit, just to take orders, like inspiration, here's what I can do if you want.
Okay.
But I was missing something, like the creation part. Once you know the pattern or what, it's not like a challenge anymore.
Yes.
So, and I'm really like I'm someone that needs challenges and like things to change a little bit. If it's always like I couldn't do 5 times the same deer, I would be like, I'm done with that pattern. I'm not taking orders.
Stuck a little bit.
Yeah, so the creation part, I feel like this is where I was thinking about creating my patterns. And also because I was starting to understand, that's really how I learned how to make my patterns. It's just making existing patterns and trying to understand why the increase is there, why the decrease is there, why this part is longer, why is it shorter, smaller, blah, blah, blah. So I guess that's, at this point, I realized that I was able to create new shapes and new things or adding things to existing patterns. I was like, I should give it a try.
Yes. Well, that's a good advice. Like if someone is listening and want to start making this pattern, I think, starting with an existing pattern and try to modify it a little bit.
Yeah, not to sell it again,
yes,
but for their own. Do not sell the modification.
You believe after the podcast we see our patterns everywhere and just one stitch different?
No, please don't. But yeah, I think that's the easiest way to learn how to create shapes, and because some people are asking me for advice on that and like hoping I can tell them like the magic formula to all the shapes and all, but it's just trial and errors.
Yes.
You just have to try it, and of course you have to understand like how wide you want a piece to be, how tall, and everything. You have to understand that, but to understand that you have to follow existing patterns and try to understand it by yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you draw before? Do you like draw on a paper the shapes you want and everything?
I used to do that a lot. I realized that this year I haven't done that much like I used to.
Okay.
I think that's a really, 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 really good start
Yes.
when, especially for amigurumis. It helped me for proportions. So let's say if I draw it, I know it looks cute in my drawing.
True.
And I know the head is this big and the body is this big. So I want to keep the proportions like on the drawing.
Yes.
So I think it's a really, really good idea to start. Well, that's my first advice for someone that wants to try and do a pattern, just like a basic sketch. It doesn't need to be pretty.
Yes. And you are talking about like designs, the proportion and stuff. And did you have any background like learning designs, like shapes, how to make something cute or something, or you just figure it out?
No, I think I just figured it out. I don't have any like background. Well, that's not true. I did a little bit of drawing. I studied for 2 years in 3D animation.
So you
computers
have a
and all
little
that.
bit of a background.
Yeah, I guess so. It was more on the computer, but
Yes.
there was still that drawing part and like creating characters, creating different sceneries, I guess.
Yes.
So yeah.
But you didn't want to do that of your life?
No. No, I didn't want to be stuck in an office outside of my house.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah, I think the main reason why I started the business was for my family. Knowing I wanted kids in the future. Now I have my kid. But knowing I wanted to have kids, and I was not really passionate about anything like one specific job. That's
Okay.
another part of my personality. I like to do all different things. So one job that is too like in a box
Yes.
gets me bored, and then I just don't
want
like
to
it
move
anymore
on.
after 2 years or 3 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I was like, I need to find something that I can work from home, have my own business, and then I can be with my kids and family when I can. So that's why I started it. And I think that the pattern designing also was really attractive to me because I was really thinking in the future. Like I was like, you design one pattern and then you can sell it for your life,
Yes.
like all your life. You just work like a lot, but then it's done, and then you can make another one. And because making amigurumis and orders, it was not enough to live and to have this as a full-time job.
It's hard to sustain.
While pattern designing.
sustain.
Yeah. And I remember some of my family members not knowing crochet or the crochet community. When I first talked to them about my project of being a pattern designer and all that, they were like, yeah, but if you sell your patterns for like $5 or $6 each pattern, you have to sell a lot. And I was like, yeah,
Yes.
I can do that.
If you say it this way, yes, that's true.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, dollar store, they sell stuff for $2 and they're still pretty good.
Yeah.
I think I started it like making my cow pattern, and then I had this idea of making a collection because one of the like a lot of orders I received in the past were for like siblings. So I want a cow for my daughter, and I want a dinosaur for my son. But I want them to be the same style, the same size, and everything. It was like so hard to find two different patterns and mix them so they are the same size and style. So my first patterns were basically a collection. So it was like farm animals, so cow, chicken, pig, bunny. So they were all like the same size, the same style, but just different animals.
Okay.
And I think that's one good thing if someone is starting to write patterns and want to sell them. I think it's good to have like a few of them ready to post almost at the same time. Because if you start with just like one pattern on your Etsy, then it's good. Let's say
Yes.
it's really, really cute, really, it's perfect. But the person goes on your Etsy and it's like, okay, there's just one. And then kind of forget about it.
True.
If you open an Etsy shop and there's like at least 5 or 6 patterns, you're like, oh, and it looks a little bit more professional, I
True.
feel.
Yes.
Or like, okay, it's not her first. It's not that it's a big deal that it's your first. It's just, I don't know. I think it's
Psychologically,
just in our
you're
heads.
totally right.
Yeah.
Even I don't know if you go to a clothing shop online and you only see one clothes, it's like that's weird.
Yeah. Why just one?
And also, I think for the SEO of Etsy, it's better to have multiple listings. You know, when you launch.
And just thinking that the more you have, the more likely you're gonna have sell. Because maybe someone is not gonna like your cow, but that same person is gonna like your pig or want a pig pattern and not the cow. So just like everybody's starting somewhere. We all start with 0 patterns if that's their goal. But just to know that it's gonna be hard to start with because with one pattern there's just one chance of selling it, and then once that person bought it, they're not gonna rebuy it again.
Yes.
So but think of like long term. After I have 50 patterns, there's 50 more chances that someone's gonna buy, 50 more chances that someone's gonna see it.
Also, like, do you think Instagram, social media growth is related to your Etsy growth? Like, do you think it's necessary to grow an audience to grow your Etsy shop, for example?
I want to say yes.
Okay.
I want to say yes, but I also want to add that the number of followers is not the same as the number of sales. So you could have a big following, but then the sales are not there. It depends on your following and what your content is. Because if you're sharing finished toys all the time, you might have a lot of followers that just want to buy a finished toy.
Yes.
But if you're not talking about your patterns, if you're not talking about, I don't know, crochet tips, I think that's a really good way to gain new followers. And it also depends of your patterns. If they're beginner friendly, then you want to attract more beginners.
Yes.
So go for crochet tips, things like that to have beginners. But if your patterns are really like for experienced crocheters, then you want to attract some other followers.
Yes.
So it really depends. But once you have the good following, I think it's a really, really good thing.
Okay.
Because when you talk about something on social media, if people like what you're doing, they're talking about it, they're sharing it, they're commenting, and then it brings more people.
Yes.
And more people brings more chances of sales.
Yes.
So yeah, I think it's strongly related. I think you could still have a business of crochet patterns without having a lot of like social media activity. But that's the main focus for me to kind of promote my work.
Okay.
And the day I realized that, I think that's the day everything changed for me.
For you. Okay. So you are active
And
on
my business.
Instagram. On Instagram, you are active on TikTok as well?
Yeah, so Instagram, TikTok, Facebook a little less, but Facebook still. Because I realized that on Facebook it's less of what the customer I want. It's more like people that want finished toys. I feel like I haven't been able to change that from when I started my Facebook page about finished toys. That was one of my concern when I switched, because I was like, I need customers that crochet now. I don't need customers that want crochet toys. But I was able to do that mostly on Instagram. And on TikTok, I feel like it's younger. So sometimes people are just like scrolling and commenting for fun. But I think that most of my customers are from Instagram.
Oh, okay.
And that's really personal.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you about your advice. I think it can be very useful for someone who wants to start. And so in your Instagram bio, you say you are the mom of the... No, Octomom. You are Octomom. Can you tell me...
I'm the creator.
Oh, the creator, yes, of the Octomom. Can you please tell me, I think I know, and I think a lot of people know already because it's been so viral, but can you please tell me more about it?
Yeah, so when I was actually pregnant with my daughter 3 years ago, I released my first mama pattern, which is basically an amigurumi with a pouch inside, and then you can hide babies in it. So I designed my first, it was more like a regular octopus, so with the long tentacles, long and curly tentacles. And this one was actually my first really popular pattern compared to all my other patterns I released before that. So I was like, okay, there's something there. People are liking like the mama concept. And I thought it was really cute because at that point I was pregnant. So I was like, I have my baby in my belly. Yeah, and I like to say now that my daughter gave me the idea while she was in my belly.
I think it's very good storytelling.
So, yeah, that was the first mama pattern I designed. And then in January, it's been almost 2 years now, in 2022? Last year, yeah, a year and a half ago, I made that octopus mama. Well, okay, that's the jumbo one. Okay, so it looks like this. And like I said, there's a pouch, and then I don't have her babies. I don't know, my daughter has them.
So there is a
so
pouch
basically, yeah.
under?
Yeah, so that's a hole, and then you can just fit the babies. Like I said, where are the babies? Well, okay, I have the sunflower. Okay. So that's the sunflower one because our tentacles are like sunflower. And then you see the babies in the pouch.
This is the cutest thing. I mean, this idea is literally genius. I love it.
And I think that the other thing that was really popular about it is that it was no-sew. And as you probably know now, no-sew patterns are really, really popular because we don't like to sew. We like to crochet.
So I know.
Yeah, I mean, depends on what you do with it. If it's just like for you or like not for kids.
Yes,
or even
true,
for
true.
kids. I don't know.
No-sew pattern are for sure like very popular.
Really popular. So I think I had like, I think I mixed two really popular concepts without actually wanting to do that. I think I saw a little keychain. It was like in polymer, like you put it in the oven and then you bake it.
And it's called like, yeah, but I know it's like dough, but like
what a shame. Yeah, we know what it is.
We talk about crochet here. We don't know.
Yeah. So anyways, I saw a little keychain like that. It was a little kawaii octopus. I was like, oh my gosh, that would be so cute. And then I kind of just had the idea of using...
Fimo. It's called Fimo.
Oui, c'est ça.
Sorry, just came back. Okay.
Exactly. So yeah, I think the idea, like the inspiration, came from that little keychain that I saw in the shop. And then I just mixed both ideas. And then I was able to do it no-sew. And then, I don't know, I went viral on Instagram, TikTok. And when I'm saying viral is like thousands of sales.
Oh, wow.
Today's day, I think it's 15,000 sales right now.
Okay. And was it like one video that just like went super viral? Or did you have to make different videos?
It started with a picture. It was actually the octopus was like, we see the hole and then it's from the top, and my daughter is just, I'm gonna send you the picture if you want. My daughter is just like pulling out a baby, so you see all the, I think that picture brought some attention, but also really popular amigurumi designer made my pattern and shared it, and that's Katie Dids 86. I don't know if you know her.
Oh yes.
So she's American, and I feel like this just opened the doors to like the US for me. Because my patterns are all in French and English, so I know there's a little bit of French crocheters and also like Québécois.
Okay.
But yeah, so I feel like her sharing that pattern just explode.
Oh wow. Nice.
And since then, I was really happy that it was not actually my first pattern, because all these people finding out about me and going to my Etsy and seeing all of the other patterns that were already there just increased my general sales as well. So not just on that pattern,
Okay.
but all the other patterns that people were just discovering now, but they were like there for 3 years before.
Okay, so it just like in terms of brand, it just like made your brand growing in general.
Yeah, so right now I'm still releasing mama patterns because I know people love them, but I'm not only releasing mama patterns because I feel like I can do more and I can offer more than just mama patterns. So I just like to have like a mix of both. But I think that many people know me because of the
Yeah.
Octo Mom, so that's why I put it in my bio.
I definitely saw the octopus before knowing you, so yes, for sure. Well, that's so
Yeah.
cool. So you can, like, it's like one pattern change your life basically. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, because before that I was full-time designing. My husband is in the Air Force, and we moved to Saskatchewan for 2 years, and that move made me kind of jump full-time, because before that I was doing like that evening and weekends and then having a regular full-time job. But then when we moved, I kind of said, well, that's my chance. I don't want to look for another job in Saskatchewan, knowing that we're there for like 2 years and then coming
Wait,
back.
sorry,
or
is it
whatever.
in Canada?
Yeah,
Oh,
Saskatchewan is in
Sorry.
Canada. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So we basically moved province for 2 years.
Okay.
So at this point, and that was in 2020. So since 2020, I'm full-time designing patterns, which is really mind-blowing to me still.
It's a blessing for
Like
sure.
it's dream life, but also like
It's a lot of
I'm
work.
able to help my family. Yeah, it's a lot of work. Yeah. So I don't know what was the question I went.
No, I mean, I like sometimes when he goes all over the place, because the goal is to have a conversation. So I think it's super cool. And so in terms of revenue, like, do you feel right now you can really like have a solid revenue thanks to your patterns, or you are still working on it? How does it go for you?
Numbers. No, yeah.
If you don't want to
really...
say numbers, you don't have to say
No.
number. Just if you are comfortable or not.
No, I think I'm really grateful, and I don't want to say lucky because I know I'm working a lot, but I feel lucky for. And then Katie said, "You're not lucky. I saw your pictures and your pattern because it was a nice product, and then I shared it because the pattern was high quality.
Yes.
So I know it's not luck, but I feel kind of lucky to be living that life. I want to say. So yeah, the revenue is amazing. We were able to buy our house because of that revenue, because of my patterns.
Well,
Yeah,
now
yeah.
you make me dream. I'm like, okay. Well, that's
So
amazing.
there's a way of living from pattern designing.
Wow.
And we could think that like there's like peak of when I release a pattern, there's more sales and then it drops, but not really. I'm really, once again, grateful and thankful because I feel like my fans, my following is really, really strong. And it's like when you like a music group and then you know they're gonna release like new music, you know you're gonna like it.
Yes.
No matter what the songs are, because you just love that, like that, their music or what they're offering, their style. So I feel like I have a really big fan base that when I release a pattern, almost no matter what I release, they're gonna like. There's a number of people that are gonna buy it.
Okay.
No matter what the pattern is, and this is just so amazing because.
Yeah.
So yes, there's a peak when the pattern released, but then it doesn't drop. Like it's not no sell for the rest of the time. So at this point now that I have 100 patterns soon, I'm working on my 100th pattern right now. I feel like people are still discovering me every day and still like buying every day and still supporting me every day, which is amazing. And it's just keeps growing, and I don't know how, because I'm like, everybody knows me. And then I remember I made a post a few months ago and I asked people if they already had the Octomom pattern, which is still my most popular today's day. And I was so surprised in the comment to see like in the comment section to see, I think maybe 10% of in the comment section saying that they have it. They do have it.
Okay.
And like 90% of people, not yet. I'll buy it later, or just, so I was like, okay.
Yeah, but
I'm not even there. Like,
you can tell he's
the
not
world
luck
is big
at this point, you know.
No.
Like it's just because they like everything you do, you know. So that's not luck. It's just they like your style and everything. And also, like, I also have a feeling, you know, on Etsy, like, because the Octomom was definitely a bestseller. Like, sometimes I have the feeling it even pushes it more, like with the SEO. Like, once you are bestseller, like, for them, they want to keep pushing it anyway. So
yeah, that's how they make money too.
Yes.
So with their fees. So of course they're pushing listings that are selling well. So that helps a lot. So it's always like a wheel. But you have to keep the momentum, and that's really hard. And sometimes the pressure is really hard too. For that, because you don't want to lose that momentum. You want to keep going. And I remember saying to my husband last year, like, if it can just stay like this for the rest of my life, I'm going to be so happy. It's perfect. But now this year is just growing more. I think I've doubled all my numbers.
Okay.
And it's not like the year is not even done yet. So I'm just really grateful. I'm like, there's really no limit. That's what really, really fun about digital, like, shops, digital businesses, is that you can, like, there's no limit. If you sell 10 patterns in that week, or if you sell 1,000, you don't have to work more on these orders. So that's, like, I think it's the best business.
Yes, I think I mean, we agree. Obviously, we do the same thing, but I think the key, I don't know if you agree with that, but trying, because I used to feel very discouraged about my sales on Etsy until I got a bestseller, and it changed everything. So do you agree with that? Like, the goal is to try to create something that goes viral and that becomes a bestseller.
Yes, obviously, of course, it is a goal to have, like, something going viral or being very, very popular. I think one of the thing I like to focus on is also, like, having high quality patterns. That's gonna make a difference in the end. If someone wants to, let's say they won't buy one pattern because they don't know, like, your style, or they don't know how you write your pattern, so they just want to try it. And then if they don't like it, or if it's missing information, missing instruction, missing things, or unclear, they're less likely to buy again from you. They're just gonna skip to another designer. So once again, I guess another advice, if someone wants to create patterns, is just to spend a few more hours just to make sure that everything is perfect. And then once you publish it, it's always good, and, like, you never know who's gonna buy it and talk about it or not.
Do you use testers, pattern testers?
Always.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, always.
Would you think it's an obligation, like, if you want to have quality patterns?
I don't think it's an obligation. I think it's a really, really good thing to do, though. Even with testers, sometimes there's still, like, mistakes or errors in the patterns. It's really rare. But sometimes you have 10 people testing your patterns, and then you have that one buyer saying, well, that doesn't work. And then you're like, how come? And then you feel like, why did I use testers then? I remember in my beginnings being so excited about releasing a pattern that I wanted to skip that tester part and just release the pattern. I think I did it a few times, but for these patterns, I was kind of testing it for myself.
Okay.
And then just rereading everything like if it was not my pattern. I didn't have any issues with those patterns, but it's more work for yourself. Yeah. Right now, I just prefer to send a pattern to the testers, and then I can work on another pattern or something else while they're testing it.
Yes.
But yeah, I think it's a really good thing to do, just to avoid having mistakes and then having to re-upload the pattern, sending it to everyone.
Yes,
blah, blah,
true.
Blah.
Sometimes like more, you know, like sometimes thing takes long. You think it takes longer, but you actually save time. And if you have a pattern with mistakes, it's like the worst thing. Like that's the worst thing that can happen, I think. So.
It's like, oh no,
I know.
No. Hold on.
Stop being hard. So
yeah, and like you said, reviews are really important also on Etsy. Yeah. So yeah, if we're talking about the viral part, because that's what was your question, I think you can. It would be too easy if we knew what's gonna be viral or what's gonna be popular. Yeah. It would be too obvious, too easy. Yeah. So we never know. I think it's just to do the work and just keep your. Like, I don't know, not to try to be like everyone else. Just do you. Be you. Yeah. And I think the worst thing I can hear when there are like people taking patterns and then modifying it or doing a pattern really, 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 really similar to what is already existing, saying that there's just so many ways that we can create a frog or a turtle or that's not true. There are 1,000 ways that you can draw, like you can crochet a frog
of a frog.
And one thing I like to answer to that is just take 100 kids, give them all the colors they can use, one paper, and ask them to draw a cow. There's not going to be one that is the same.
We are big kids.
Yeah, the thing is that we tend to look at what is already on the market and want to make something popular, but I don't think that's the way we should think about it. It's just do what you want to do. And sometimes inspiration is just in like a kid book. You're going to a shop, you see a keychain, and then you just have to go back to your inner kid and just like let the creativity that you have inside of you just shine. But sometimes
did you feel
we think too much.
Did you feel that after the success of the Octomom, did you feel like sometimes you saw patterns that were very, very inspired by it? I mean, I know the answer, but I
don't want to go too much.
How did you feel about it? How did you feel like if you saw like, you know, something very, very close from it? How did you feel?
I think the main feeling was just sadness. I want to feel.
Okay.
Or being robbed. Like that's me. And then I don't know. And also kind of. I don't know. Well, for sure, frustration. It's like frustrating. And also, usually when that happens, I reach out to the person. Okay. And just to see what we can do about, like, I'm not coming and then don't release it or anything. Is that I think the hardest part is that it was when that happened with someone I was talking with or like chatting with. We had a relationship, a crochet relationship on Instagram, for example. And then they released something really similar to what I just released because it was popular. And that, it's like betrayed, the feeling. I felt betrayed because I'm like, well, you know me, we have a relationship, and then that's what you do. And it happened to me, what I like to do when I have an idea for a new pattern, I like to look at what's already on the market. But sometimes you cannot find everything that is on the market. I wanted to make a sunflower pillow. I had this idea, or just a daisy pillow. I started making it and everything, and I think I was really ready to post a tester call, and then I saw another crochet designer releasing a daisy pillow or something like that. I was like, okay, no, that's the same thing as I just did. And it ended up being just like we had the same idea,
Yes,
but I
it
reached out to
happens
her and I said, that's what I did. It's just funny. I'm not going to release it. And it stopped there. But I think that if we had to release at the same time, I don't know, you have to choose your battle. I think I would just leave it there and just move on and work on something else.
But there is a difference
if clearly we have
about having the same ideas that without knowing, it can happen. It definitely happened to me. Like, it's gonna be Halloween, you're gonna see ghosts everywhere. That's not your fault, like. And
pumpkins,
if the idea
ghosts,
comes from you, you didn't steal anything, you didn't copy anything. So I would not, like, it's good you did decide not to post it, but you did nothing wrong. It's more if you went on her page.
And she didn't either.
Like, if you went on her page, it's different, obviously.
No, I'm not going to do that.
No, don't do that.
But I mean, even like to release, I don't know, 2 patterns really similar, the followers doesn't know the stories behind it. They don't know if the designers talk to each other. They don't know if they're both okay with it. So I just like to avoid drama. I just like to avoid like getting that misinformation. So yeah, it's fine. I'm gonna work on something else, and sometimes that's what we have to do.
I've seen on TikTok like it was literally a fight between like 2. They were do-it-yourself bloggers, and one of them copied each other, and it was such a drama. And I was like, okay, I think at that point it's just better to move on,
Yep. I like to say it's just crochet. Even though it's my business and my job, it's still just crochet.
Yeah.
Same for some people, like asking on Etsy, I want my pattern yesterday. It's like, it's just crochet.
Yeah.
We're gonna solve it. We're gonna solve the issue.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just better, I think, just to move on. You do you, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And so you told me you have kids. How many kids do you have?
One.
Just one. So how do you manage your busy crochet job and your personal life?
That's probably one of the hardest thing. Not feeling guilty when I'm with her, not working on my business, not feeling guilty when I'm working on the business, not being with her. Just finding the balance. I still don't have it. I'm still doing my best.
You still feeling
Sometimes
guilty?
Sometimes I feel guilty because I'm with her and I'm just thinking about like business stuff or things I could do, and I'm like not present with her, and then I feel guilty about that. So it's all those feelings. I'm never ending. And right now she's at the daycare. She's been going to the daycare for a good year now. So that helped me a lot. So during the day I can really work on the business and everything, and I thought it would solve everything, but it didn't.
Okay.
By that I mean, yes, I work a lot during the day, but I still want to do some work when she's sleeping.
Yeah.
So like the minute she goes to bed, the thing I want to do is crochet or make patterns or answer my emails or my messages.
Yeah.
So I'm still in that not so healthy balance between the family, kid, and work. But I'm still working on it. But I think it's really the hardest part.
Yeah.
But also, it makes me proud of like being able to do so many things and have a successful business, but also being a mom. So I think it's really
when you feel guilty, you have to remind yourself that like you are a solid like business owner. That's normal. You think about your business.
One advice I can maybe give to someone that is in the same boat as I am right now, one thing I started to do, I think 2 weeks ago, is just in my cell phone, the notifications at a certain time, like at 5 p.m. every day, my cell phone turns the notifications off except for like the phone calls and the family messages.
Okay.
So I don't receive any notifications from Instagram, for TikTok, for everything. I can still like open the app and go, but I won't have like the little red numbers saying like you have 10 messages. I feel like this just helped me so much. Like I don't feel like overwhelmed with the amount of messages, and I'm like, I'm gonna check them when I can or tomorrow morning, and that really helps because it's like it's always in your mind when you hear your phone like it vibrates or you have another message and you just want to look at it now. But if you don't have the notification, it helps. So maybe
so you put it like
advice.
a do not disturb mode or something like that.
Yeah, now on the iPhone you can have different do not disturb. So I just set it as family.
Okay.
So when I click on family, it just leave like the phone calls and messages from my family.
Okay.
So everything else is business, so it's gonna be to the next morning.
Well, that's a very good idea actually. I'm like, I may do that. Because you're right, you just want to look, but once he's red. So you cannot go back.
Or you just click on your phone and then you see so many notifications and you're like, you want to look at them. But if you put on that mode, you don't have them.
Okay.
Well, they're going to appear when you remove that do not disturb mode.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for this advice. I definitely will try to set it up on my phone. It's very overwhelming. For me, it's more when I wake up. And I don't have a kid. But when I wake up and I see all the notifications, sometimes I give me anxiety.
I did the same thing for the morning time frame as well. So like from 7 to 9 a.m., there's no notification. So I just wake up, be with my daughter, and then I can work. So basically from 9 to 5, I have my notifications, but the rest of the day, I don't.
Well, I think it's a good way to, manage it both, because online business, I have the feeling it's always like the tricky part of online business. Because when you go to an office, once you're done, you're done. But I think online business,
when you leave, you leave.
It's very tricky for that. And my husband and I both work online, and we really have to, set boundaries because it gets into your personal life for sure.
Yeah, and then that's all you do is your business, and
you live for it.
Yeah. There's a learning curve, and there's just like a balance to find. Definitely, like I said, I didn't find it yet.
I mean, you have some good advice though.
I'm working on it. So yeah, it's really hard, but we have the same for the reviews. I kind of don't like to look at my reviews, even though I know my patterns are good. They're like thousands of people, hundreds of people have done them, but that one bad review is gonna stuck with me the whole day. So I don't look at my reviews in the morning. I don't look at my reviews before going to bed because I've done that, and it's not a good idea.
So I was about to ask that, like, do you ever receive outside of negative review, like literally mean comments, like people that are just trying to be mean to you?
I think it happened once in the past 4 years.
Okay.
Just basically they were bullying me for something I didn't do.
Okay.
So just commenting on all my posts, sending me messages, like even though I was trying to understand what was going on, accusing me of things I didn't do, or not being the actual designer of a pattern when I was. And I was like, I don't even know where it's coming from.
Okay.
What are you? I was just basically saying, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Can I understand?
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened with that person. They just stopped one day.
Oh, okay.
And I haven't heard. The person is not blocked. So they can still comment on my things and everything, but they haven't.
Okay.
So I don't know if they're just realized that what they were saying was false.
Mm-hmm.
So they just stopped. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was really weird, but that definitely made me like feel so bad. And I was just every second I was looking at my phone. Is there anything else?
Okay.
Is there anything new?
It's like online bullying, you know, when you hear about it.
Yeah, that was definitely it. But other than that, no, not at all. Bad reviews, like, I think the worst thing you can tell me, and that happened maybe 2 or 3 times, is that my patterns are too detailed, or like there's too much information in my pattern. That's kind of a like, well, that should be good.
But yes,
that
at
should
this
be a
point
good
there is
thing.
nothing you can say because, you know, if you make a
Yeah,
pattern
like,
that is not detailed enough, well, it's not good neither,
So that's probably the worst thing you can say to me, because I'm working more to have detailed patterns, but I also understand that you cannot please everyone.
Yeah.
So some people want like secure eyes, sew head. Like they don't want full sentences, and then when they see full sentences, they become overwhelmed, and then they don't like it.
Okay.
And then there's people who likes it. So you cannot please everyone. So I'm really trying to like disconnect myself from bad reviews, or if it's things that I'm not gonna change or I cannot change. I mean, it is what it is.
Yes,
Those are
you
my
just have
patterns.
to
If you
move
don't
on.
like them, it's I think I have one. Oh, yeah. Some reviews are just annoying because you're like, that's not like someone not reading the description right and thinking they're getting something else. Well, then just leaving a 1-star review, and you're like,
Sometimes
well,
it's
you
not
didn't
fair.
even contact me. You didn't. Yeah, and I feel like the way that people are approaching me will really affect the way I want to help them.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's fair, but
I
I
had
mean, if
the
you're...
exact same conversation with Amy from Curious Papaya.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, for the last episode, we were talking about that. Make sure to approach people the right way if you want to have a good answer.
Yeah, or just like, yeah, I mean, it's just common sense, but some people, I guess, are just thinking that if they're like coming, you're most likely to refund or exchange or whatever, but that's not the case. Just be nice, guys.
Yes.
Be kind.
Do you only sell on Etsy or do you have your own website?
I don't have my own website. I sell on Etsy and Ravelry.
Oh, okay.
And also amigurumi.com.
So now you are on it.
Yes,
you
I
started with them. And now, were you proud of it?
Yes, I was. I reached out to them. I think I had like 10 patterns. I sent them pictures and I said, how can I sell my patterns on your website? And then I just sent my patterns and they were like, you're good to go.
Oh, wow.
Sell them. And I was like, it's good that you're talking about that, because I remember being like that being a goal, and my husband and I just looking at amigurumi.com and scrolling and seeing my patterns, and I was like, that's my pattern. I remember it's like 4 years ago, but it's good that you're talking about that.
It's like victories, like keeps you going, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you closed the circle, you know? I think that's amazing.
Well, next time they have to publish a book for me.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to ask you. So is that the thing we can wish you to write a book? That's your biggest
that would
dream?
be a dream.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Well, I mean, buying a house is a dream.
Okay.
And because of my business, but that's checked.
Yeah.
But I guess
you have to move to
having
the next
my
one.
own having my own pattern book, that would be just like,
wow.
I can see it. I can see it in my hands.
I can totally see you
happen.
with a book too, like with. Yeah, I can totally see it. And did you start the process already, or is just like a dream?
Strongly thinking about it, strongly into it, I want to say.
Okay. Well, I'm very excited about that. If he ever comes out, let me know. I want to.
You will know.
Yes, I want to see your patterns, definitely. And yeah, I think we had a very good conversation. It's very inspiring, very helpful. Is there anything you want to, add maybe to the conversation?
No, I don't think so. I just want to say again, be kind and nice
Yeah.
in this community and in life in general. I know that some people are having a hard time with mean comments or things like that, but
Yes.
I think that um, let's just try and
Yeah.
focus on the positive because there's so much more.
Yeah.
But sometimes we just focus on that one person.
Yeah.
So yeah, just be kind and nice and loving.
And it's crochet.
And everything will come. It's crochet.
Yeah. We are not talking
just
politic or, we are not talking.
It's just fun.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really the goal of the Crochet Podcast, to bring this part also of our job, like what kind of comments sometimes we can receive and stuff. So I ask every creator how how they feel about it and stuff. So thank you so much for sharing your experience and to tell people to be kind. Thank you.
Well, that's important.
Yes,
that's
it
important.
is. And to remind that we are talking about crochet. So it has to stay that way.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jade. I will add the pictures, in the video so people can watch. And have a great day.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a good day.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching this new episode of the Crochet Podcast. If you liked it, please leave 5 stars on Spotify or a thumb up on YouTube. It really, really helps, more than you imagine. Don't forget to subscribe, and I see you very, very soon. Bye bye!